In this lecture, I am going to give the details about Angular controller. Angular controller controls the certain area of the application. First, we need to declare the Angular application using ng app directive. This application I will name as app.02. This app.02 we need to declare as an Angular module in the script file angular.module app02 and get the square brackets. Then we need to create object of this Angular module. For that we use var dot object name. I'll use object name as app. When Angular module creates, it assigns to the object name called app. Now you can create first controller using app object app.controller. First you need to give the controller name. I'll use controller1 as the controller name. Then you have to give the function declaration function, and I'll declare local variable here. This dot variable name, I'll use variable name as name equals first controller. I'm going to the index.html and I'll add new div tag. I'm assuming this div tag is going to control by my first controller. To bring first controller here, I'll add ng controller directive. My first controller name is controller1 and I'll create object of this controller1 as con1. I have already declared a variable called name. We will test how we will bring this name into the front end. First I need to give object con1 dot name. We'll see. Yes, you can see con1 dot name as assigned as a first controller. We have create our first controller named controller1. Within that controller we declared a variable called name. In the HTML we will create a new div tag and we assume that div tag is going to control by this controller1. Within that div tag we add this name variable and it gives the correct output. Now we will check the behavior of the controller. For that we will add another controller app.controller. The second controller I'll add as controller2. In the same controller I'll declare a variable called name I'll give a name as a second controller and I'm going to the index.html and going to add another div tag. The div tag area is going to control by our second controller. My second controller name is controller2 and create object of controller2 as con2 and I'll bring that the variable of controller2 into front con2 dot name and we will run and see. Yes, it brings the name of the first controller in here, and the name of the second controller in here. For a single app, you can have multiple controllers to control that certain areas.